regards to hydration, I did clean out my water pitcher. I got one dose of water, which was so needed that actually I almost drank the whole pitcher in one go, right? Hydration, as you can see, I got a little bit refreshed, which is also awesome, always awesome and great. I'm so thankful for that. And the third mention that I wanted to make is in regards to let's talk about unmute. Second portion is unmute. So in regards to unmute, I talked about in the last segment, checking your giving. Is it passion versus manipulation? When you're servicing or serving or giving to others, and also when you're giving it, are you being manipulative, or are you being passionate about your serving, right? And I talked about how no means no and that type of thing. Now the other thing, because there are things that people need, we need to find out what they are, and that's why on www.theartofgoodincorporated.com there is a forum page with discussions, and it's called the needs exchange. You place three things you want to need, someone else places three things they want to need. You get in where you fit in. If you find somebody that has a need that you can fulfill it, and vice versa, right? And it doesn't mean that because you fulfilled somebody's need they have to fill one of yours. It's just as people are able, and it may be somebody that you didn't fulfill a need for that fulfills a need for you, right? Again, www.theartofgoodincorporated spelled out.com. So one of the goals and missions is to cater to those that are populations of the muted members of society or community. I have experienced all of these. All of these are from my experience. Those are people that are victims of the criminal justice system, those that have mental health issues, whether they're diagnosed or undiagnosed, those that have suffered or been through homelessness, whether it's court ordered, and then everything that comes subsequently from being ordered to homelessness, or if it was of your own doing or just circumstantial situations. And once again, homelessness does come in different forms. I am technically homeless right now. If you don't have a lease, you're homeless. If you are living on a friend's couch or sofa, you're homeless. Um, if you're living in your car, technically you're homeless. Now, homelessness for different people mean different things. Some people would never claim homelessness no matter the situation because they know that they're always going to get back on your feet. But if you need help and you need legal assistance and things like that, and you technically qualify for homeless as being homeless, there are things out there that could probably be benefit you. Supposedly, I have not received any food stamps, and it doesn't look like I'm going to. I don't know what's going on with that situation. I try to apply my own. I try to apply through assistance programs, but no, it's not working, and that's okay. Because sometimes there's a greater God or greater good that's involved in it all. Mine is God, because there's sometimes where I take all the A, B, C, D, E steps, and I don't get where I'm supposed to go. My whole thing is changed around. And that happens sometimes, and we have to accept that, life does happen that way sometimes. We do not control it. It happens. We can just go on our intentions, take the steps necessary, and if those aren't working, take different steps. So, in reference to how passion versus manipulation and manipulation versus passion in regards to service and the muted members of society, this is how it goes. And when I say muted, not just muted, muted, but muted, mooted, which means people that have just been silenced because they're being considered as deaf, mute, or dumb. They can't speak for themselves. They don't have common sense, that type of thing. Now, I've experienced both of those types of muting in the past couple days, right? Y'all saw yesterday where I went to First Baptist Church, hoping to get some food to bring back, right? And I knew initially, you know, there's a process form that you have to fill out. I gave the information to fill out the form. The guy that was kind of, leading the office at the time decided that he wanted put it down as something else. And so that's what he did. What he advised the other person to do, and kind of said it over my head like I didn't hear it or I wasn't aware of it. I was aware of it, and I was like, no, that's not the situation at all. And I tried to talk to the girl and tell her that, and she was like, well, if your situation changes, let us know. The situation, there's no change. You're putting in the incorrect information based on what this person is saying, based on his perception of what is or what he believes to be. He's not listening with his ears, he's not listening with his eyes, and he's not doing what is supposed to be done, which is having the person that applies for the assistance to actually provide the information. So in that instance, because his perception of me was one of the muted MUTED members of society, again, those persons that are homeless, those persons that have mental health issues, whether they're diagnosed or not, those persons that are victims of bullying, whether, and meaning you're an easy target, like an old neighbor, you said you're an easy target, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's peer bullying, corporate bullying, adult bullying, all of that, police brutality, all of that stuff, right? Or if you're a person that all of those things, are situations where you're muted because you're put into a category of someone that has been manipulated and handled and will be continue to be manipulated and handled. I read a story on Newsbreak, and I haven't posted a story. I got a lot of stuff to do. And some time, that said, regarding homeless people, oh, they're just plain pathetic. And, on the outside looking in, I can see how you see that because you have a group of people that are groveling for your approval and your attention and that are self abasing themselves to get it. And that goes back to, respect and people being put on mute, about your servicing and giving. When you're giving to people, and one of the things that was said at First Baptist Church, and this person didn't give their name, but they went on to assault me, was, oh, you're just coming for services, so you just got to do whatever somebody says or whatever it is, whatever we say it is. But that's not what's in your guidelines, and the same decent respect that you would expect for yourself or anyone else is the same respect that you should give others. Also, in dealing with the different people and different persons, you see that sometimes people are dressed or because they're a certain race that people think that these people must be intelligent, they must be good standing people. But no, I've seen people that are well dressed that are really mentally ill, like really, and not in any way that's harmful to someone, but they just don't have their wherewithal together. Driving nice cars, they have parents or people taking care of them you know so we have to be aware of that. Sometimes we can't judge based just on what people look like, right? And so in that situation at that church, I was muted, muted, and then they attempted to moot me, mooted, by I listened to whatever she had to say last time. I'm listening now. No, you didn't. You can see the whole time I sat and I listened in that part, and I didn't catch it on camera. Like I said, the next segment of my life, y'all see where I am now, but the next segment of my life, I'm hoping to live my life completely online, completely on camera. So if I get any money and I invest in anything, that's what it's going to be invested in. I'm going to have t-shirts that basically say you are being recorded, and it's for me, for me and my self-development and growth, and for you, if you happen to cross it, for your self-development and growth. Nobody believe in the portions that I do am able to catch on camera. Is a little bit too late because it's after I realize, hey, there's a problem. The guy in that truck that was following me or whatever problem. And like I said, they attempted to moot me, mooted, by saying, oh, we listen to whatever. You come for services. And it's about belittling a person or making a person seem dumb or unable to think for themselves or speak for themselves, and getting everyone else to participate and silencing them so they can't speak for themselves at the moment out of respect. Like I said, people say homeless people are pathetic. It's because you don't have a voice to speak, because if you speak, then you get attacked from all different things. You're here for services, you're this, that, and other. You can't speak. And then if you wait patiently the whole time, you're just dismissed and thrown away. Right? So those are things I want to avoid. In a situation today where it seemed like there may have been benevolence, like I said, all different types of people offered me rides, which was great. But again, it's just to gain information. You want to know where I live at. You want to know where I stay. You may not know that on, the surface, but I don't need that service. I don't need a ride service. If I'm telling you, and it's, disrespectful of saying that I'm cognizant for myself, I'm telling you, hey, I'm enjoying this walk. I enjoy my walks because it's like walking with God. I enjoy the fresh air, the nature, and it gives me an opportunity to think, no, thank you. I don't need a ride. But you're saying, you do, you need a ride. Get in, I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. It's not the kindness of your heart because I don't want that, But if you want to know what I want, ask me. Same thing with any other homeless person or any other person that you see in the street that you may think are part of those populations that I'm part of that, you want to cater to. Ask yourself, and then you're mooting them without knowing it too, because if they're telling you that they're enjoying what they're doing, or that what they're doing has a purpose, and for you it doesn't seem purposeful for you because maybe you would never walk, X amount of miles, not that your offer is not appreciated, because it is, because, but if I was carrying a bunch of bags, would you give me a ride then? That's what I would need, right? And, but I've had people straight up tell me they don't give rides to anyone. They gave a ride to me or asked me for a ride because of something they saw, and I saw what happened. I didn't get a chance to tell you all. There was so many blessings over the past few days. Like I said, people have been genuinely taking care of me, like really, like angels all around. And like I said, it may not necessarily be that person individually that's doing it. It may be the Spirit of God coming into them to do that, because maybe that's not how they normally behave, But for that moment, God put angel wings on them and wrapped me up in their arms, in their figurative arms. And if that's what it feels like you were being held by them. And I was held by a bunch of different people over the past bunch of days. And talking about being held, when I was younger and people try to classify a different way, I was a cuddle buddy. I love being close to people And I love hugs. I've always loved that. I love being close, personal hugs. And it was always my thing to be humanly personal. It was nothing sexual or anything weird about it. It was just what it was. But the world takes it and they put it in a category. But that's what it was like over the past few days. And some of these people, like I said, it's not in their spirit to be that way. God put those wings on them for a moment so that they could embrace me with His love and heart and soul in human form. Simple as that, right? Um, so yeah, so we have to be mindful that when we're dealing with these populations, and I'm part of those populations, okay, I'm part of it, that we are mindful that we are hitting the unmute button so that we hear what they have to say, and that we're not unintentionally muting them, MOOTED, like portraying them as dumb or stupid, or that whatever they have to say doesn't matter because they don't have sense to know what they need or want. We want to make sure that we're not doing that. Anyways, and so on that part, I always issue a love statement. I love you. But the third part of it is now the next task that I need to do. I did part of the hydration. I said I was going to continuously keep putting water in as long as I'm able. So I'm going to fill up some more water because I need some more water. And luckily, it's not so hot that the water is just like steaming hot coming out of the pitcher. Now, the next thing that I need to do, I need to do some minor repairs. So I need to get my heavy duty staples and nail guns or whatever to do that, because there's some minor repairs that still need to be made, and I need to make those for my safety and my benefit. So that's what I'm doing. And then next up, we'll get to the next section. The people that I'm meeting now that have come out to me, I'm letting them know ahead of time about my issue with the sexuality. And again, my sexuality, just because I know there are different people that may be watching this, there may be people in the community in the area that are watching this that are looking like, ooh, that's Prey. She talked about sexuality, so that must mean she's whatever. No, I'm not. My sexuality is different. It's all mind, sex, it's mental, it's tantric. So if you see me in the street, that does not mean I'm an easy target. Do not try to hit on me. Don't try to pick me up, because the answer is no. I will pull out, even though Piggly Wiggly tried to make it seem like something else, I will pull out my camera and immediately and record your license plate tag. But as y'all can see, that was dangerous because that person tried to back up so I couldn't see the tag, a Hispanic person. Then, potentially he could have ran me over, and he may have been going for that. You know what I mean? And nobody sees anything. So if, we need to love each other. I'm going to put it that way. The two quotes that I got and I thought about that other church that I didn't get a chance to visit today, how normally I was, and now I didn't. I felt bad about it at first, and I tried to look and see if I see any cars out there. There wasn't any cars out there, but I thought to myself, I shouldn't feel bad because I gave them my phone number. If they really cared if I was there or not, they would have reached out and say, hey, we missed you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I still care about them, just like I still cared about Woodlawn. I still care about this Bible Way. I care about all these places. I care. And it's not all about me. It's about them too, because I'm looking for good Christian people, or people that's trying to do the right thing. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I told you my flaws. I'm working on them. You see my flaws. I talk about them. I display them, whatever, because I want to get rid of them. I want to work together to heal, and those flaws that come from, where if you have a shirt or something and the hem becomes a little raveled, that's where those flaws come from. Something has a little wear and tear on it, and we're gonna fix it. We're gonna get it together. But anyways, I'm gonna get talking about fixing things. I told you there's some minor repairs that I still need to do for my own safety and protection. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that up, and then after that, hopefully we'll get through the rest of the job emails and getting everything planned out for the week and deciding how we're going to address certain communications and stuff like that. Love you. See you soon.